Нормально, начнем. So today topic is lexical problems and linguistic problems and complexities. Linguistic problems and complexities can be classified as lexical, syntactic, or semantic depending on the context. Lexical problems involve the interpretation of particular words or phrases rather than entire classes. These problems exist independent of context, although they are only evident in it. Syntactic problems involve structural relation between words or phrases. They are often expressed semantically in ambiguity, but is a symptom rather than a cause. Lexical case, lexical ambiguity in syntactic category part of speech, sing, sew, clap, ring. A sing is a plumbing feature, noun as well as a verb. That means it disappear under words. A syntactically ambiguous word can addition be semantically ambiguous within a given category. As a noun, clap is a homonym for both outgoing weapon and recreational association within the latter sense. It is a polysemy because it can mean both recreational social group and recreational building. Taken as set examples suggest the syntactically or semantically ambiguous words are often common and short. Lexical ambiguity in word denotation. Baker, Quebec, these words denote a man or a rule or city or province. Denotation ambiguity can affect quantification. Baker is a general rule, but Baker is a specific person. Lexical ambiguity in abbreviation denotation. Jan, May, A, B, C. Respectively, these particulars denote a name or month, a degree or state, and province or period of historical time. Abbreviation differ from words in being able in correct function or capitalization, which can help distinguish between the different meanings. The ides, however, may be missing, partial, or non-standard. Lexical gaps, abbreviation, aggression, oppress, aggress. Appear to be normalization, but no form of aggression exists too much to the verb oppress. This phenomenon of lack of words to express a concept is called lexical gap. Lexical gaps are generally understood to apply to easily understood concepts, having collateral concepts which are reside in words. Unrecognized words. Believe it's new chill. People routinely encounter words which they don't know or which are meaningless. Idioms. Radio time on one. Carry cools to Newcastle. Idol of popular culture. Heroics. Items come in all sizes, words, phrases, and clothes. They can include coinages and proper names and may have relatively short lifespans. Items that survive long enough pass into language permanently.
Sub-idiomatic expressions. Just about, we're just about to leave. Enough plus inf. Old enough to know better, but young enough to do it. In addition to idioms based on nouns and verbs or those with substantial concrete sense, there exists a class of sub-idiomatic expressions which act as facilitators of expression or linguistic shortcuts. These expressions are usually based on modifiers and may have co-occurring parts of speech. The sub-idiom's sense limited and is homologous to the sense of the modifier of the part with which it occurs. Lexical problems of translation. As a rule, the object of translation is not a list of separate lexical units, but a coherent text in which the source language words make up an integral whole. Though each word in the language has its own meaning, the actual information it conveys in a text depends to a great extent on its contextual environment. The meaning of any word in the text cannot be understood and translated without due regard to the specific context in which it's actualized. Some words, however, are less sensitive to the contextual influence than others. There are words with definite meanings which are retained in most contexts and are relatively context-free. Lexical problems of translation. The study of the language is arguably the most hotly contested property in the academic realm. It becomes a tangle begetting multiple language discrepancies. That is why linguistics compares language and explores the histories in order to find and to account for its development and origins, to give the answers to this or that language point. Due to the semantic features of language, the meanings of words, their ability to combine with other words, their usage, the place they hold in the lexical system of a language do not concur for the most part. All the same ideas expressed by words coincide in most cases, though the means of expressions differ. The principal types of lexical correspondences between two languages are as follows: complete correspondences, partial correspondences, the absence of correspondences. Let's deal with them more exactly. Complete lexical correspondences. Complete correspondence of lexical units of two languages can rarely be found. As a rule, they belong to the following lexical groups: proper names and geographical denominations, the months and days of the week, numerals, scientific and technical terms, with the exception of terminological polysemy. Partial lexical correspondences. While translating the lexical units, partial correspondences mostly occur. That happens when a word in the language of the original conforms to several equivalents in the language it is translated into. The reasons of these facts are the following. First one is, most words in the language are polysemantic. That's why the selection of a word in the process of translating is determined by the context. Second one is the specification of synonymous order. However, it's necessary to allow for the nature of the semantic science, which an order of synonyms is based on. Therefore, it's advisable to account for the concurrent meanings of members of synonymic orders, the difference in lexical and stylistic meanings, and the ability of individual components of orders of synonyms to combine. Third one, each word affects the meaning of an object it designates. Not infrequently, language select different properties and signs to describe the same denotations. The way each language creates its own picture of the world is known as various principles of dividing reality into parts. Despite the difference of signs, both languages reflect one and the same phenomenon adequately and to the same extent, which must be taken into account when translating words of this kind, as equivalence is not identical to having the same meaning.